Oh shit, here we go again.
My first ever Thomas season was season 8 as a kid. It's where I personally fell in love with the series at a very young age. That being said, there's a reason why this era of Thomas is not as beloved as the classic seasons, or even some of the later CGI seasons. Rewatching all of these episodes, and even some for the first time, started as mad funny and quickly became very painful. I wasn't in a shit mood when doing it, but like damn.
Bust my cowcatchers!
What a drastic fall off in consistency. I also can't lie, I despise the longer episodes. I know it works for some of the CGI seasons, especially some of those Brenner era episodes. I have watched maybe 5 CGI episodes in my lifetime. Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure is great though. The amount of character assassinations in the reboot is also really painful.
I'm tired.
I don't think they get any characters right except maybe Emily or maybe James and Gordon. Fuck, it's just really hard to say. I especially can't stand Thomas, Henry, but the ones I truly can't stand are Toby, Edward, the narrow gauge engines, and especially Skarloey, man. Holy shit.
I'm the bravest engine in all You are such a scared.
The amount of new characters that are also introduced is one thing even I noticed as a kid. Like damn, another guy to get in Wooden Railway?
Him!
I've seen a large handful of the Hit Era episodes when I was a young kid, but as an adult, I never revisited the Hit Era. Well, actually, there was one time in college, I got COVID, and I had to be put in a single dorm room that was basically solitary confinement for like, I want to say 3 or 5 days. I snuck in edibles and a lot of wine, and I remember spending 2 of those nights in solitary confinement getting trashed watching the Hit Era with COVID-19. Jesus, what's my problem? So because it's been a minute, I started from the beginning, and over like a week, I stomached it all. I'm not even exaggerating, I had a lot of mental convincing to do when getting through the later Season 9 and all of Season 10. Season 12, honestly, is not that bad, despite the experimentation that's done with it that kind of doesn't work. Definitely not the worst season. And Season 8 as a reboot season is really not that bad either. I like the direction they go, and shortening the cast and prioritizing the, quote, STEAM team. The Great Discovery and Calling All Engines aren't going to be ranked here, obviously, because those are movies, but Great Discovery, for those wondering, would be pretty high, obviously. I do love that John quite a bit.
Last, Thomas slithered to a stop at the bottom of the hill.
This video is going to be largely the same rules I made in the Thomas Classic Series ranked video. This is very much the same format. Let's just lock in and rank all the slop. Skarloey the Brave.
Look at me!
The rewrite for the narrow gauge engines is so painful for any classic series fan. No characters are done worse than Skarloey. Writers saw the old bridge and said, yeah, that's him. That's Skarloey, man. The oldest engine on the island deserves so much better. This episode specifically is insane. Skarloey breaking the winch and just acting like a 4-year-old is so painful to watch. Edward strikes out.
Newfangled nonsense.
Edward has also some of the worst episodes in the series. He's written as like a boomer jackass this whole episode, which is just not him at all. What the fuck? Newfangled nonsense.
Newfangled nonsense.
Bro, that's not Edward. Also, Rocky, what up? You're very irrelevant to me, but I owned you as a Wooden Railway character when I was a kid. I sure did. Don't be silly Billy. The Orange Train. Wow, I don't care. He's also annoying. And Thomas is in it. Rheneas and the Dinosaur. Heads up, I'm a sadist. I listen to Michael Brandon's narration, and god damn.
We can be really careful. I'll show Mr. Percival I could do it on my own. I'm sorry I biffed the freight cars.
Missing freight cars.
I'm tired.
I'm going to crash out.
I'm tired.
These just aren't the same characters. Even Rheneas in Season 7 is similar to how he was pre-Ghislaine era. Henry and the Lucky Trucks. This episode especially frustrated me. Henry is so goddamn annoying in this episode.
I need my Lucky Trucks back.
I think this episode must have caught me on a bad time. What is he yapping about with Lucky Trucks? Shut up, bro. Fearless Freddy. I surprisingly like Freddy. He's like the second best character introduced in this era, but again, how they treat Rheneas and Skarloey is genuinely one of the worst writing choices in anything I have seen or been remotely invested in. I'll try to stop repeating myself every narrow gauge episode from here on out. Thomas and the Big Bang. There's an alright crash, at least, I guess. Wharf in peace. Skarloey basically learns nothing from the old bridge and is forever. Thomas's frosty friend. There's some bad episodes that are at least funny. This one is not it at all. So fucking stupid because it basically is solidifying that realism is not a priority for the show anymore. Drivers and firemen do not exist really in the hit era. The Green Controller. Percy is already 2 seasons deep in being just the Patrick Star of the gang. Percy gets told instructions, fucks up 3 times, learns from the lesson, and then fixes it in the end. It's evident that once the hit era started, they took the dopey characteristics of Percy in the classic series and just enhanced it and made it even more extreme.
James must be a busy bee.
I wouldn't say Percy's representation or writing in the hit era is the worst out of all the character rewrites, but I think it's definitely making his character more one-note and less dynamic. There are some moments in the classic series where Percy isn't just like an idiot, but I think they just took the moments of him being kind of dumb, kind of like the lesser, smaller, younger engine, and going with that only. Edward in the mail. Edward, your ass is definitely taking the mail train. You ain't fooling me, G. Skarloey storms through. Points for different weather, I guess. At least there's a different look to the exteriors. Anyways, this one sucks too.
I'm too scared to go up the hill with them.
Push me, pull you. Skarloey fail number 6. I really have nothing else to say. Saving Edward. Edward is banished to being how he was in season 1. Gone is your legendary story arc where you prove everyone wrong. You're just an old and fragile bitch. Percy and the baggage. A really whatever Percy episode. Damn, Topham's mom got so much luggage. Seeing the sights. This could have been great if this wasn't season 10. This low-key could have been a season 1 episode with the Thomas and Gordon banter. This is just another Thomas fucking up story. Not even any cool set pieces or production design. Smoke and mirrors. A classic story structure for the hit era. Thomas does 3 tasks and then he fucks it up and then he fixes the problem. Thomas in the runway car. Thomas fucking up way too much, yo. He's not that dumb. It drives me crazy. Why won't Topham fire him if he fucks up this often? Rosie's carnival special. I love how the dudes with Topham are just looking away the whole time like,
Yep. Yep.
Oh my. But Stepney was whistling because the freight car of sugar was now rolling towards him.
Thomas sets sail. Thomas goes really fast, past 3 people in a 3-act structure, and then Thomas fucks up. Wow. Tram trouble. I don't care about Flora, and Thomas is so exhausting by now, bro. I can't do it. Don't go back. Diesel gets so neutered, it's insane, man. He also has one of the worst rewrites in the entire series. Why are they, like, racing against each other? That's between Thomas and Birdie, yo. Thomas and the billboard. Alright, I hate seeing Diesel being done like this. I do like, though, how Thomas is written in the episode. I can see Thomas doing this to Diesel. Thomas reverts back to his season 1 archetype quite a lot. It feels like it would make sense despite all of his character development in season 7. Hear me out. He is okay and more mature, but he sees a Diesel threatening his image and he still acts out and fucks up. That feels like that could work in like a season 7 episode. I don't know. I feel like there is potential for this episode to be good. It just manages not to work and is just kind of whatever. Thomas and the stinky cheese. Ari and Bert are also some of the worst characters butchered. They've been bad though since season 6 and it's in full display here. I miss when they were the scariest characters in the classic series. Bros used to aura farm like that. Toby's afternoon off. I think second to Skarloey for worst rewrite is Toby. I can't stand Toby at all in the hit era, man. I knew what to expect with Skarloey, but rewatching Toby's episodes made me want to unalive.
Thomas!
Heave-ho Thomas. All-American engine named Hank.
I tell you what.
I'll tell you what. Emily's Adventure. An episode I know a lot of people hate. I do remember this episode when I was very, very young. There was a DVD I owned along with A Big Day for Thomas that I watched nonstop. This episode was on it, and yeah, it's bad, but I do like how they direct Emily's character into this kind of bossy bitch instead of just Thomas, but a girl.
That's because you're a big bossy boiler.
Hide and Peep. This could have been a Fire Season 2 episode, trust me. Only a little glaze. Probably a lot of glaze. How the f did Percy get on the crane? Funny ass ending with Thomas cheating with Cranky. That's like me when I play video games with any of my friends. Thomas puts on the brakes. At this point in my marathon of watching the hit era, I am beyond exhausted with this. Thomas pulls a weird train of random shit and some bullshit happens until Thomas really fucks up, then he recovers and learns his lesson. Episode format. I'm so tired of it. No more Thomas being stupid. These blocks don't even look special, bro. Put even a little effort in. Best friends. The finale of the model series, I guess. It highlights Thomas and Percy's friendship, probably more akin to their friendship early in the series, just less toxic. How did Percy not see Thomas next to Duck? Thomas tries his best. Hey, he's trying, man. Hey, the writers are trying at least, man. The title is the hit execs telling me they are trying their best, but they aren't. This episode sucks. Don't tell Thomas. This one is funny at least, but for the wrong reasons. I did love seeing Thomas get so needlessly wound up. Gonna cry, kid? You feel left out? It's good to be Gordon. Gordon's rewrite is a mixed bag. There's some genuine thought for him, but also episodes like this one. This episode's mostly just forgettable. Henry and the Wishing Tree, an iconically bad episode from the hit era. Has some really funny faces for Henry, though, in his modeling, and it's also pretty funny, I can't even lie.
I wish I could pull freight again.
Obviously not good, but I don't know, it's fucking stupid and silly. At least it's silly and not boring. Emily and the Special Coaches. Diesel stocks plummeting, yo. Thomas in the Lighthouse, a classic episode where Thomas goes somewhere, fucks something up, but learns from his mistakes. Thomas and the Rainbow. This episode especially frustrated me. Like, come on, Thomas, you're not a toddler. Get it together, bro. But then it also is funny seeing Thomas's entire day derail because he's fascinated by a stupid rainbow.
Percy isn't talking to me because I didn't have time to talk to him.
Thomas and the Colors. Thomas fucked up again, and James is funny looking. Cool. Topped off Thomas. Just weaker Gordon and Spencer. Thomas and Spencer have no dynamic at all. Which way now? Rusty fucks up directions and fucks over the workers. Boring as hell. Toby feels left out. The epitome of Toby being a massive insecure bitch in the hit era. It's so painful seeing my boy like this. He used to be so fire and lit in the OG seasons. Just look at him in James and a Mess or in the season 2 premiere Double Trouble.
Thomas was grumpy in the shed that night. Toby thought it a great joke.
Toby's surprise. Only redeeming factor is my goat whiff pulling up.
Hello, Toby. Why are you looking at old Ted Cads?
Percy and the Fun Fair, a very whatever Percy episode. Henry gets it wrong. The Return of the Wishing Tree, and Harold looks really funny in this. I don't know, I'm pretty indifferent about it. The fact that they bring back Henry's relationship with the Wishing Tree is very, very funny though. Toby's new shed. Dear God, Toby, what did they do to you, bro?
Good morning, Thomas.
Toby's triumph. Toby gets covered in mud and it looks stinky and shitty, and Alicia Body is in it too, I guess. I don't know, this is not my Toby. Free him, bro. Steady Eddie. Not the worst Edward episode at all for hit era standards. I'm mostly indifferent about this one. James the second best. James ego check. Get fucked. Thomas in trouble. Only this high because of the cool black steam coming out of Thomas. I'm struggling so hard to have anything to say about 75% of these episodes. Thomas in the jet plane. This episode is literally just Duck in All at Sea when he wanted to see beyond the tracks. I don't know, this just is uninspired and new character I don't give a fuck about at all. Henry and the flagpole. Henry's a fucking idiot and Salty did nothing wrong. Salty is honestly kind of funny in this one at least.
It's not tall when you lay it down, matey.
Follow that flower. Thomas fucks over James in this whatever season premiere. I don't know, it's dumb. The Man in the Hills. Thomas fixates about finding a man in the hills for the narrow gauge engines and fucks up his priorities. Thomas is just a dumb child like the narrow gauge engines. Thomas in the workshop. Forgot I watched this one and had to rewatch it. It's whatever. Thomas in the shooting star. Okay, there's about to be just a long streak of Thomas episodes that are all basically the fucking same. From 74 to 61. It's just a bunch of whatever fucking Thomas-centered episodes that are all practically the same fucking thing and not saying anything interesting or doing anything interesting. Let's just breeze through these or I will start drinking while I record this fucking audio. Thomas, Emily, and the snowplow. Wow, nothing happens. Thomas and the Golden Eagle. I don't care. Molly's special. Molly is whatever, and Thomas is dumb for gaslighting, and also OMG, Molly is the yellow train, oh my god. My toddler ass had her in Wooden Railway too, I was such a victim of this era. Thomas and the treasure, cool set piece I guess. Thomas's tricky treat.
Thomas gets it right.
Thomas in the circus. Thomas's milkshake muddle. Thomas's day off.
Help, Cole Dennis. Help.
Thomas in the birthday picnic. Okay, goddamn, no more fucking Thomas episodes for a second, please. That's what's crazy. And I know everyone who talks about the hit era has said it before, but goddamn, they aren't even trying to do anything interesting. This streak of episodes in the rank are more or less the same thing over and over again. Just nothing burger Thomas episodes. Thomas tries to do something cheeky or is dumb or he has to pull a weird looking fucking train and it fucks him over or he fucks up and after usually 3 strikes and then he learns his lesson and fixes the problem he started. This is largely all of the hit era episodes. It's no wonder to me now why I never watch anything past season 7. Hell, season 7 fucking rules in comparison. I feel awful for dogging on so many of those episodes in my other video. Murdoch, I love you, man! The Party Surprise, a Freddy-focused episode. I just don't care about Colin, this new fucking random crane. Like, get out of my way, I got cranky, yo. Freddy sounds super dopey too in Michael Brandon's narration, but I don't really care.
Oh no, I must puff back as quickly as I can.
Ding-a-ling, another Freddy-focused story. Really chill, I can't even lie, I genuinely like it.
Listen to that.
Thomas and the Birthday Mail. Cool sets and location, I just don't care about Rosie's addition to the cast, but the locations are great. Gordon and the Engineer. What the fuck? Hi, Donald and Douglas. Hi, I'm so drunk. Hi. Oh my god, I love you. Tuneful Toots. Fairly inoffensive Rusty episode. Rusty does get done dirty, but what's new? As good as Gordon. I actually like the dynamic between Emily and Gordon. Emily trying to be as good as him is very on character, and I like the direction it takes, minus the hit era isms. This one isn't mind-blowingly bad. James goes too far. This isn't a bad James episode either by any means. I mean, it's not good either, but it's watchable. Sticky Toffee Thomas. You will start to notice soon in the rank that I am settling for at least dumb episodes. If the show isn't going to follow realism and let the trains fuck off and do whatever the hell they want without a driver or a fireman controlling them like an actual train, then at least make something stupid like this episode. Sir Handel in Charge. Just imagine if Sir Handel in Charge was Sir Handel before he is being sent away to the engine psych ward in between several seasons.
Those aren't coaches, they're cattle cars.
That's my headcanon, at least. You can do it, Toby. They fucking mentioned Donald and Douglas without even showing them.
Slate cars for Donald. He even shunted fruit and vegetable cars for Douglas.
What an insane tease. Toby's in his Insecure beta era still, but you know what? I saw this one as a child on the It's Great to Be an Engine VHS, so I remember it kind of. I don't know, it's still not very good upon rewatch.
Yes, sir.
Thomas and Skarloey's big day. Thomas and Skarloey go on an adventure. Why would anyone trust these two idiots together ever is beyond me. They're both basically the same person. Thomas and the fireworks display. Perfect example of why episodes should have stayed at 4.5 minutes. This did not need to be this long. Percy and the oil painting. An extreme nothing burger. Inoffensive and not bad though, I guess. James gets a new coat. Akin to like a season 1 James episode, but not entirely there. There's still something off. The writing isn't bad. Season 8 in general has some very, very passable episodes, with this as a perfect example. Thomas and the Tuba. The hit era reboot premiere, and it's Thomas getting into a wacky scenario and some random ass job and he fucks up and fixes it. I don't know. It's not the worst. Season 8 is largely like pretty chill. Thomas to the rescue. It's actually good, I won't lie. Thomas feels more himself in this. Like a solid 50% of Thomas is back in just this episode. He's trying to break through to us through the hit era brainwashing of his character. A solid depiction of Steam versus Diesel. Mavis gets done dirty though, and not in the writing, but by letting her also suffer. Like, damn, why are you letting her suffer too, man? Gordon takes a shortcut. They don't butcher Gordon as bad as some other characters in the reboot for the hit era. Gordon has a chill story in this one that isn't outwardly painful to watch. This episode is also just an example proving that season 12 is far from one of the worst model seasons. Big Strong Henry. Shows some signs of Henry's original character archetype. He still does the thing where he fucks everything up, but he fixes it in the end. I don't know, it's fine. Duncan does it all. Okay, I don't hate Duncan's writing in the hit era compared to a lot of the other characters. It's evident from my last 2 videos that Duncan is probably my favorite character in all of Thomas. And this is also despite how he was definitely regressing in his character development since season 7. Duncan just kind of fucks about and is significantly less toxic in the hit era, which I don't like. I love how toxic Duncan is in the OG series. That's what made him so fun and made for such good content. Make my boy the chaotic evil that he is. James works it out. James hating on Hector like that? Damn. I like the little moment between James and Edward, with James not wanting to look like a fool in front of the old man. The two definitely got some history between each other. It's almost like they had several seasons of character development together, and one extremely climactic episode, like, what's it called? Old Iron? Have you ever seen that episode, guys? Duncan and the hot air balloon. I've seen enough of these episodes where Duncan fucks up delivering a weird ass item since season 7. But you know what? Fuck it. This episode's pretty funny too. I think it's really funny how Duncan just keeps driving into the hot air balloon over and over again. Like, you know what? I can see OG Duncan doing that as well.
He biffed the balloon.
Saved you. Bro saved a cat from the tree, so Topham wasted so much railroad budget money on celebrating that. Duck would also never let a water tower fall on him, yo. Duck was rightfully pissed off with Thomas's dumbass trying to be some fucking hero. Honestly, very relatable for Duck. I would probably be annoyed too if some corny ass motherfucker was like, I'm gonna save you. Percy and the Magic Carpet. Another really stupid episode, but Percy screaming and panicking like a dumbass over a magic carpet is really funny.
Wait for me!
He cried.
Please, wait! Help!
Cried Percy.
Murdoch has got my magic carpet!
Murdoch, come back! Fish. Kind of a light sequel to Something Fishy. It's nice seeing Arthur in this episode and tying back to a previous episode in season 7. Salty is also a nice addition to this episode. Thomas in the spaceship. This just feels like a chill season 2 episode. I don't know. I was really stoned when I watched this one and I liked it. Mountain Marvel. Fuck it. I like this one, especially because it's somewhat of a sequel to an episode that I genuinely really like. More to that soon. Percy's new whistle. Again, just really stupid and funny for the wrong reasons. I'm laughing at Percy, not with him. It's annoying and dumb, and that's why I enjoy it. Too hot for Thomas. I'm not gonna lie, this episode is only this high because it is the first Thomas the Tank Engine episode I have ever seen. Like, for real, this is the first episode I ever saw as a young kid on the It's Great to Be an Engine VHS. It's a whatever episode, it does nothing interesting, it might as well be in that slew of Thomas the Tank Engine episodes that are just Thomas-centered, Thomas does a thing, he fucks up, whatever. But I have a fond bit of nostalgia for this soy fucking episode, and you know what? Fuck it, it's number 33. Bold and Brave. Better writing for Diesel by a whole lot. The tunnel set design is pretty too, and well lit. I think the actual concept of a monster in the tunnel is very dumb though, and I feel like the engines aren't that stupid. We've also seen something similar to this happening with like Henry and the Elephant before. Whatever, I'm hating too much. Dream On. Spencer carries the episode. Thomas has no dynamic with him. I don't know why there are 2 Spencer Thomas episodes. Like, if you're gonna put Spencer in, he needs to be up against the right character. I think they do that better by making Spencer the antagonist in another later Thomas CGI movie where they fix that dynamic. But the dynamic between Thomas and Spencer in these 2 episodes is just not good. Thomas and the statue. Awesome Percy crash out. That's like the highlight of the episode.
Please stop talking about the statue, peeped Percy. No one wants to hear about it anymore. No one wants to talk to you anymore, Percy added crossly. And neither do I.
Very deserved too. Spick and Span. This one's fun. Everyone's priorities are fucked and there's a good conclusion to it. Gordon fucked up. Thomas saves the day. Great climax, but it always feels so rushed at the end despite the longer runtime. Like, we get all this build up and then a quick climax and an even quicker resolution. That's like one of the main issues I have. It's forgivable because at least there's an interesting story, but these are just things I've noticed with a lot of Hit Era episodes. Dirty Work. I always enjoy seeing James get humbled. Very stripped down portrayal of James, but not a bad one. Percy in the bandstand. I can't even lie, it's mad funny seeing Jack show up and fucking miss half his load when dumping it into the truck. This is really all I have to say about this one. It's just mad funny. That shit made me giggle. Thomas and the new engine. Neville is a whatever stupid character. Arguably the most irrelevant of all the new characters. Does he even talk in the episode? But what makes this episode better is the rescue sequence. I genuinely like the rescue sequence at the end of this episode a lot. It's thrilling and sure, Thomas saves the day, I guess. Emily knows best. The Hit Era characterizes Emily great. This episode is a perfect example of how to do her character. My goats Toby and Mavis wouldn't fuck up this badly though. I'm just saying. Percy, I'm not surprised though. Chickens to School. Oh yeah, I went there. This is just as dumb as Thomas and the Stinky Cheese or any other stupid Thomas episode, but it's funny at least. Fuck you. I don't care that this is the dumbest episode I have ever seen of Thomas the Tank Engine, and the human characters are permanently solidified as literal props. I still like it, and this episode's going this high. I don't care. Thomas and the Storyteller. Extremely based how Thomas stops to help James. This is how you should be writing Thomas at this point in the series. Where was this matured adult Thomas several seasons ago? Surprised this was a season 11 episode even. Season 11's first few episodes are so good only to fumble the rest. Excellent Emily. Hi Duck and hi Murdoch. Probably Murdoch's one based moment. I love how Murdoch of all motherfuckers comes back for another season. Also hi Trevor and hi Duck again. Gordon takes charge. I really adore this episode, and its dynamic between Gordon and Percy. This one I genuinely can rewatch multiple times. Great episode, great crash, great writing all in all. a smooth ride. I think this episode's existence is just mad funny. My headcanon is after Sir Handel was banished to the Sodor realm, or just fucking whatever rehab, anger management seminar that he's sent to, is why he is completely fucking different than he once was, and now he's this old, wise engine akin to his daddy Duke. His dynamic with his day one Peter Sam is also a nice touch. I like how we keep these two together. Coldie Fell reference is also really fucking based. I like just hearing a character say Coldie Fell, because I glaze those little mountain engines, and in a perfect world one day, and maybe a different universe, we actually had a model series adaptation of mountain engines. Alright, I'm fucking off. Duncan drops a clanger. I really like the name of the episode, first off. Basically just a season 7 Duncan episode. Cool props, solid crash. I was entertained at the very least. Watch behind your buffers. I glaze Madge like crazy, so that's why this narrow gauge episode is this high. What's up with all the mud in season 11, by the way? There's like 3 different crashes that are involving mud in this season. Mighty Mac. By all means, not my favorite new characters in Thomas, but they are such a unique choice that it is fated to make for a good story at the very least. I love how this episode showcases Mighty and Mac. A great addition to the cast, in all honesty. They have great banter between the two of them, and the message of learning to work together is good. Duncan's bluff. The fuck? I'd be pissed if I was James. Don't be that forgiving, man. Duncan just fucked your shit up, bro. I think that's just mad funny. Emily's new route. This is a fun one. Emily being so afraid of some mysterious monster on her new route. It's dumb, but it works, I think. I think I'm honestly just happy this episode focuses on Emily rather than Thomas. I think the story fits for Emily better. It would be so dumb if this was just another Thomas or Percy episode. I think that's honestly why this episode is so high. It's focusing on a different new character. This is how you could be utilizing new characters like Emily, putting them in episodes that you could, I guess, put Thomas or Percy in, but you're not. Keeping up with James. A great episode between James and Edward. Edward isn't as pathetic as he normally is, very akin to Old Iron. I hate the retconning, basically redoing their dynamic from scratch, but there is a cool crash, and anything is better than some of the other Edward episodes. Cool truckings. Probably the best production design in the Hit era. I love the road sets for Madge and Duncan. Madge is a perfect addition to the Hit era narrow gauge engines. She'd be purposeless in the OG series because there's no need for this motherly character. A motherly character like Madge for the little idiots in the Hit era version of the narrow gauge engines is a perfect addition. I also can't get enough of the sets. Maybe they do care sometimes. Thomas's new trucks. A rare Thomas Hit era episode I like. This one is genuinely fun. I also have some nostalgia for this episode as a kid. I used to watch this one all the time. But regardless, there's great Thomas writing, some great dynamic and banter between the new trucks and Thomas getting fucked up. There's a cool crash. It's a good episode. Hector the Horrid. I'd argue this is one of the more well-known Hit era episodes, I think. I think they kick off Hector very well in this episode. Big scary virgin coal truck who is projecting because he is scared of the coal loader. Thomas stands up for Rosie and he shows some great actual development, being a mature hey, yo, don't fuck about with me. I may be a tank engine, but I'll fuck your shit up too, bro. A very satisfying conclusion as well. Written well in the Hit era. Emily in the Garbage. Whiff is my fucking goat. If there's anything I learned upon this entire rewatch is that I love Whiff, bro. He's just a smelly little guy, no different than the motherfuckers I see at a grindcore show. I love how he just remains the same from the beginning to end. We don't have a cliche moment where Whiff is sad because Emily is avoiding him. He's just a chronically happy guy who loves his smelly ass job.
I'm sorry, I ran away from you, puffed Emily. That's all right, whistled Whiff. I'm just glad you found me.
How could you hate this guy? He's awesome.
My name's Whiff, whistled Whiff.
I love Whiff, bro. That is my biggest takeaway in making this entire video is I love Whiff. Percy's big mistake. Maybe this is because it was one of the first episodes I watched in the marathon, but I really love how they write Percy's fear of getting scrapped for fucking up. Maybe this would be lower if this weren't in the first Hit era season, but I like to think otherwise. Edward the Great. A classic, great Hit era episode. Edward racing Spencer is such a perfect story. They make the old Edward archetype work here because he isn't just some pathetic old loser. He's fighting for his damn life to beat Spencer. Very akin to Edward's exploit in all honesty. The old homie proves everyone fucking wrong again. Really love this one. Halloween. For a while, this would always just be the Hit era episode I would say I love the most. It doesn't take place during the fucking day for once. That's a huge problem with a lot of the Hit era episodes. There's some spooky production design and sound effects as well in this episode. I still hate how they do Ari and Bert, but everything else here makes for a classic spooky episode. Admittedly, way tamer for a much younger, dumbed down audience, but it still works. Respect for Gordon. This is proof of how you write Gordon despite all the character assassinations. Gordon wants to be respected more. He goes about it in a wrong way. He fucks up, but then the other engines learn to understand where he's coming from. Definitely the best written episode in the series. Love this episode very, very much. Squeak, rattle, and roll. This is Percy's big mistake, but even better because it's Gordon. Gordon, I can't emphasize enough, has some of the best writing in the Hit era somehow. Actually, probably the best written character in the Hit era. Gordon realizing he is getting old is a great direction to take his character, especially in the context of where Gordon starts from season 1 as like a pompous, I am the big, advanced, awesome engine. Now he's fearing being too old and gonna be scrapped in the fear of being outdated. It makes for a great episode. Flower power. Okay, hear me out. I like this one. I like the nighttime set design, especially since basically all of these episodes are during the boring ass day where there's no cool weather or time of day sequences. If an episode in the Hit era has something interesting going on with the production design or the sets, then there is hope for me to like it. Thomas and Diesel's dynamic is not the worst ever in this episode.
Whoa! Thomas!
Thomas becomes a spooky looking ghost and scares Diesel shitless. Can't complain, I like it.
Whoa!
Duncan in the old mine. Duncan Glaze continues. I love the set design and Duncan's dope-ass little adventure. I love how Rusty is just concerned the whole time while Duncan just fucks off in this cool old mine. The episode takes the chronic optimism and happiness of the Hit era and makes it work. Duncan is just happily adventuring in this mine and magically gets out. And number 1, the magic lamp. Yeah, this has to be my favorite, bro. I'm a very predictable guy, I think. If there's a kind of spooky episode, I like. The episode does explain all the creepy moments, which is not really cool, but my ass is so good at just ignoring things like that. It is far from a perfect episode, or even the best written episode. It's honestly not very well written. It's just a 3-strike format episode, again, explaining all the things that Peter Sam is scared of with a clear resolution and answer. But with the filter of a foggy set design and creepy atmosphere, I can't help but like it. It's ironic how I shit on all these narrow gauge episodes in the beginning of this video so much and so brutally too, only for 2 of the episodes to be my top 2 favorite episodes in the Hit era. Proteus is in my headcanon the engine who dies in Rusty's ghost story. It only makes the most sense, I think. Proteus aura farms his way into my childhood wooden railway collection that is locked away in my parents' storage unit. Anyways, this episode rules. It's not the best written episode. That would probably be Respect for Gordon, but I don't care. The Magic Lamp is my favorite episode in the Hit era. Holy fuck, that was so exhausting. Writing the script, watching all 126 episodes, having something to say about each one was like genuinely hard. I like writing and making videos about things I love and am passionate about. I don't care about the Hit era. It was fun to get this video out. I was curious to see if anything would change, and I realized I really do love the Magic Lamp. I had seen it as a kid, I just didn't realize it would be number 1. I think after this experiment and doing this marathon of 126 Hit era episodes, I will be sticking to the classic series happily. I hope y'all enjoy this video. Thank you for all the support with the previous 2 videos I've done. It's really cool seeing all the engagement, seeing that y'all are really enjoying all this stuff. I'm really excited to make more for y'all. Cheers. All right. Yeah. There's 2, there's 4, there's 6, and there's 8. Shunting trucks and hauling freight. Red and green and brown and blue. They're the really useful crew. All with different roles to play around Philadelphia or far away. Down the hills and round the bends. Go Birds. Thomas, he's the cheeky one. James is vain but lots of fun. Percy pulls the mail on time and Gordon thunders down the line. Yeah, Emily really knows her stuff. Henry toots and huffs and puffs. Edward wants to help and share. Toby, well, let's say he's swag. Yo, there's 2 and there's 4 and there's 6 and there's 8. Shunting trucks and hauling freight. Red and green and brown and blue. They're the really useful crew. All with different roles to play around Tidmouth sheds or far away. Down the hills and round the bends. Thomas and my bong. There's 2, there's 4, and there's 6, and there's 8. There's a lot of fucking new characters and they're hauling freight. Red and green and brown and poo. They're the really useful crew. Why are there so many new characters in my fucking kids show? There's too many. Down the hills and round the bends. Thomas and his gang. Mic drop.